Let's place our hands, one hand upon another, whichever one calls to you, upon the place below the navel. And let's just bring our mind deep into this space here completely. And feel into what is emerging from this space. Let the mind follow without any questions needing to be answered in this moment. Simply observing and being, really. Not standing aloft, but being in this place below the navel. Letting your entire body relax and come in to this place below the navel as well now. Releasing any tensions in the muscles, allowing your joints, your shoulder joints, your elbow joints, your ankle joints, hip joints open. Knee joints open. And just let the energy stream through into every part of your body. Dropping all the energy from the head into the place below the navel. And smiling into your organs, into your heart, into the wisdom center, the sea of chi below the navel. And let the dantian here, which is your elixir field, open up. Let your waist release any muscle tension so that it can open up from the inside. Let the sacrum open. Let the tailbone sink deeper. Anchoring in. Slowly releasing your hands to the sides, your arms, let them lay next to you. And slowly bring your arms upward, all the way up. And with your tailbone completely anchored, you're going to reach up, stretching your arms up, reaching up to the big central sun above us, bringing a beautiful morning star down. Let it shower down upon us, let the light in. Stretch, 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 stretch through the fingertips, let the light through the fingertips into the center of our palms. Taking a deep breath in. Can't speak anymore because I can feel the energy all the way into the belly, and then relax. Let the front of your body relax all the way down into the space below the navel. all the way in. All right. Okay. Just going to make sure I've got the beautiful music tuned down. And then we can slowly begin to come into this space for today's beautiful topic that I'm really excited to bring forward to all of you. How are you all feeling on this Friday? Let me know. How are you feeling on this beautiful Friday? Where are you tuning in from? Please let me know. That will be amazing. Okay. All right. So I'm actually coming in with really a heart overflowing with so much feelings, so much gratitude, so much just magic and incredible truth just overflowing through me into my every fiber, into the universe and beyond. I'm just feeling so much, and sometimes it is one of those things where it feels like words can't even do this any justice. To just commune this energy through the opening that we just did was the best way that I could really share. And one of but what I would share in this instance after doing that is all the incredible things that are happening right now in my world. And one of the things, or several things, one of it was 2 days ago, I would say, I was sitting with my beautiful client inside my mentorship space called Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman. And the most incredible thing happened where we felt this luminosity come through. And I was saying to her, you know, every transmission that comes through a ceremony, which was where we were sitting in a tea ceremony, and her ancestors really poured in, and the light, the luminosity of the cosmos, of the mystery really was really just coming through so powerfully. And I was telling her that all these wordless non-verbal transmission, what you're feeling here right now, is always and has always been very unique to each person who comes into the ceremony. And the most amazing thing is that, you know, she was asking me, you know, is this unique to everyone? And that was exactly my answer to her. And that is the beautiful thing that happens when we work with an open heart, with the medicine that is present for all of us. And in this instance, we were working very much with tea spirit. You know, we are inside Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman. What Cha Dao means is the way of tea. Cha is tea, Dao is loosely translated in English as the way. But what it really is, I mean, the way doesn't even do it justice. You know, Cha Dao is really a way of living in harmony with nature. And that is the foundation of Cha Dao really is so much about leading with the heart and from the heart. Hello, beautiful beings. Please say hello and let me know where you're dialing in from, and let me know how you're feeling on this beautiful Venus Day, Friday. So good to just be with all of you. But yes, so we were sitting there and we were feeling this powerful energy of her grandmother, her great grandmother. And it really brings back this memory of myself, you know, when I was very, very, very much coming in from a place of living in the hustle and bustle of Hong Kong. I was working as a digital content manager, you know, working in journalism for a long time. And when I really just kind of very accidentally stumbled upon this, you know, I was given an invitation, a media invitation to join a tea ceremony in the lineage of Cha Dao. I thought, you know, I love tea, and so why not? And when I came in and had that first bowl of tea, I remember the feeling was exactly as I knew it, the feeling of what home really feels like. And it really is so beautiful for me and such a huge breakthrough, because I never really had an answer. I was a seeker. I sought for the feeling of home for a long, long time, ever since I can even remember. And when I found it, within, I was just really quite blown away, because, oops, I'm just adjusting the table to make sure it's standing properly. I was really blown away because I was always seeking for that home elsewhere, physically, outside of me. Since I was young, when I was born in Malaysia, I've always wanted to escape and run away from my home, because I always felt like this doesn't feel like home. I don't know what home is, and I've always sought for that home, and it brought me to many, many, many places. You know, I lived in Paris for a while, I lived in Manchester in England, and then I lived in Hong Kong, and now I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, happily married, doing this beautiful work that is my life's work. It is not even work. I literally spoke about this yesterday. I call it my devotion. I call it my purpose. It is my telos, you know, and it is the way the cosmos works through me and expresses through me. It is the divine within me that is being expressed and put to work, let's put it that way. But what I really want to say, going back to the ceremony, is that, you know, from that place within, I realized this is what it feels like to be home, to belong. And I think it's really important for me to share this in terms of, you know, to segue into the core, the heart of the topic today of self-mastery. I don't come from a place of saying to you that I am higher and you're lower and you need to listen to me to be a master of your own life. Likewise, I don't want to come in and say to you, and I want to preface this very, very carefully and very, very clearly as well. When I speak about self-mastery, what I'm really talking about is an integration of your mind, your body, your spirit, in order for your soul to emerge, in order for what I was just speaking about, the cosmos to be expressed through you, the cosmos, the universe, God, the divine, whatever word that aligns with you. Dao, you know, Dao itself is the very mother of everything. Everything began with that. And, you know, there's this beautiful passage I read in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, where it spoke about this God, that the sun, the Ra himself, caught a reflection of himself, and then thus began self-awareness. Thus began the I, the self, which is who we are. Like, I is the ego realizing that I am individual, and there is this powerful part of us that we are not separate from, that we have never been separate from. It is our divinity. It is our divine blueprint. Yes. And in Cha Dao, the way of tea itself is really centered upon the deep remembrance of this truth. And this is where I really wanted to come in, because first and foremost, before we even begin this conversation, it is really important to understand that we have to realize and be aware of any conditioning or illusions that we still carry, that we might be, you know, doing something in order to get something, right? We want to be very aware of the illusions of, hello Erica, welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to be so aware of why are we seeking for self-mastery? What is self-mastery for us? Because a lot of times what I notice is that when we speak about self-mastery, a lot of times it comes from a very critical and judgmental place, like a self-validating place. And in that energy, you are inadvertently, maybe you are unconsciously doing it, you don't even realize it, is that you're inadvertently saying that you're separate from that divine energy. And that means self-mastery becomes something where you're pushing, you're forcing yourself, and you're still measuring yourself up against something. And comparison and judgment, all of this will flare up in that spiritual journey, which is totally defeating the purpose of it. Hello. Oh my gosh, I miss you too, Erica. We need to catch up very, 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 very soon. Hello, Amanda. Oregon, amazing. Who else is from Oregon? Who else is from the US? Let me know. This is amazing. So, having said all of that, why I wanted to draw your attention to what was really going on in the ceremonial space with my client, and how it reminded me of my own journey back home, is because I too came from a place of real deep self-flagellation, real deep self-criticism, real deep lack of self-respect and self-love, let's put it that way. You know, it was almost like the yardstick for who I am at that time really was dependent, and it moved all the time depending on who was the boss in my life. You know, it could have been someone I loved, or it could have been someone that I really respected and admired, or it could have been someone who was paying my salary, right? And I mean, how many of you do this too? And let me know, because that is nothing to be judgmental about. It is really something we're here to dig deep into, and you can absolutely share in the comments anything that's coming up for you, and we can unravel that together. This is the whole point of this session. You know, it's not for me to preach to you on my soapbox and say, you know, this is the best thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm really here to share something that's fundamentally so profound and so transformative. And I'm really, honestly, this is what I really, really feel. I feel heartbroken every time I see a woman just really not seeing herself. And it is because I have totally been there myself. I have totally been in that place where I couldn't see myself. And when I say that, I mean seeing our true divinity, seeing our true nature, our essence, our purest essence as the divine, as what I love to call sacred luxury. We were born sacred luxury. And I add the word luxury behind it because my work really centers around bringing you deep into your remembrance that nothing can give you that feeling of luxury until you actually embody that yourself with the deep knowing that nothing can give it to you. It is something for you to fully choose to embody. Period. End of the story. And by the way, my apologies for the little snifflies. Hay fever is really crazy here, by the way, and I'm so excited for this, by the way. I just discovered nettle leaves, so I just ordered some for myself, and I'm so excited to try that. So the next time you see me, I'm sure it will be so much better. Side notes. But I really wanted to bring that forward because what I really feel is going on in the world right now is that there is a lot of feeling of helplessness, of being lost and not sure what can I do to make a change in the world. And for me, the profound embodied experience has always been about what can I be right now, rather than what can I do, or what can this do for me. Yeah. And this is where I really want to come in with this feeling of having done this work, having served in mentorships, as a mentor, as a guide, as a Cha Dao ceremonial keeper. First and foremost, I will ask you this question, and you can answer in your own time. You can send me a direct message if you don't want to send me the comment right now, but I would ask you this question. What do you really want? What is burning in your heart? Like, what is it really? Releasing all the thoughts that are attached to other things or other people. What is it that's really burning in your heart? Yeah, releasing the questions, releasing the how. What is it that's really burning in your heart? Let's take a moment here and let's steep in this for a moment. Yeah. Okay. The deep need for adventure. And what is stopping you from going there and getting that done and living that, let's say? Because we're not trying to get to a destination. And who stick bring dutiful. So I imagine, from what I can understand, it's like being dutiful, right? Okay, so stuck being dutiful. And the question is, what part of you that is authentically actually really rooted in these words, stuck being dutiful, meaning, is that authentic to you? Is that authentic to you? And is that authentically you? And here's the thing I want to really share with you as a question as well to contemplate. What is the reason that you can't? And it really is this, if you dug deeper, it's that question of why can't I have it all? Why can't I do it all? And I love Ward just said a lifetime habit. And thank you for that, by the way. Here's the thing, everyone. Illusions that feel like, oh, this is really toxic for me, or I'm stuck, or whatever the words that you use. These are illusions. And these are actually very habitual patterns that have been built. And if you become aware, so aware, and this is what Cha Dao really helps us to build this awareness as a beautiful practice we can get into in a bit. But what I want to share is that, oh my goodness, the minute you become aware of the patterns, the way your brain goes in the same thoughts over and over again, it's like you're stroking the cat's body over and over again in the same way. And these are not even habits or patterns that are serving you, but the moment you become so aware that, oh my gosh, like every day I'm waking up to the same stuckness, these same limiting thoughts, these same limiting behaviors, then you become the one. You become the one who gets to decide, okay, I see this now. Now I get to choose how I want to live my life going forward. And I think this is where the crux of the whole illusion breaks apart. If you choose to, by the way, is that you have to take responsibility for your decisions. We have to become aware, firstly, of these habitual patterns. Yes, Lord, yes. Once we choose to say, okay, I'm breaking this pattern. Oh my God. Like, how many times can this keep going in my head, right? Like, it's not serving me. It's not serving anyone in my world, because I'm not serving myself. And yet the mind goes in this pattern thinking that I need to be dutiful and I need to keep doing the same thing even though I don't like it, and everyone else is finding me insufferable, but I still have to do it. And I know this feeling very well, and I'm so going to do it. I keep doing it. I keep doing it because I know this stuckness so well. And so I complain. I hurt other people. I make myself super insufferable because this is the only thing I know. Like, this is literally your mind saying it, okay? And this is why we have to take full responsibility. And this is also why the majority of the world cannot be visionaries, because the majority of the world is stuck in the unwillingness to take responsibility, the unwillingness to extract themselves from being the victim of their lives, because it's so much easier to say that there's something stopping us from doing this, there's something that's holding us back. That is so much easier to say, I was burned once and I'm not doing it again because I'll be burnt again, right? It's so much easier to say, well, you know, I believed it, but then look where it got me. And showing more evidence of the same thing, because this is what happens. This is how powerful we are. When we really believe in something, we can always find the evidence for it. This is how powerful the mind is. And so my question always is to you is that, what will you choose now that you become aware of your habitual pattern? Will you choose to break it, or will you choose to continue complaining about it, continue seeing the pattern and not doing anything about it? Because none of these things, in the way that I'm speaking, is to imply that it is wrong. It simply is free will. It simply is free will. We are all born fractals of the divine. We came very much like the tree, the tea tree itself. If you have heard of the tea trees, Genesis, you know, the origin of tea is from Yunnan, which is directly translated as south of the clouds in China now. But back in the day, we are talking about a forest that is so vast and boundless. And every leaf that comes from that tree, it carries the full DNA of the tree. And the tree itself is an expression of the environment that it grew up in, the expression of the weather. The whole tree carries the story of the terrain, of the terroir, and the leaf carries that with it. So however the leaf has been processed and carried forward into the hands of human beings and finally made into tea to drink, that tea will express the weather, the environment, the wisdom of the land. It will carry within the bowl of tea the entire story of the universe. But here's the thing, and this is where the similarity is really so profound. Tea and humans are exactly like that. The human came from, all of us, no exception, just like the leaf, we came from the same tree. We came from the great divine. We came from the great Tao. Yes? And the minute we came through, there's that free will. How are we going to be processed? How are we going to be stored away? How are we going to be drunk? You know, maybe someone who bought the tea wants to drink it as a beverage. Another person wants to drink it in ceremony, right? And this is where free will comes in. It's like, okay, do I want to be the full expression of the divine? Yes, meaning I am creative life force. I'm here to be a visionary. I'm here to step fully into my power. I'm here to know that I am limitless. Whatever I desire, I know that desire is a direction. It's pointing me towards something, but I am not attached to how it will look like. I simply know that this feels so good right now and I'm going to do it without being held back by fear, self-doubt, criticisms, or disbelief from others as well, right? So the free will comes in the same way of how the tea will be expressed, right? Because I can tell you the best possible tea is of course processed with the artisanal hands that come straight from the original indigenous lands, the ancestral lands. But then you also get tea people who decide, okay, well, you know, I want this to be a commodity that I can sell for a very certain amount every year. So I'm going to make sure that I cut the leaves into smaller pieces and put them into tea bags, or that I make sure I fertilize the trees. I use chemicals to make sure that these trees, they get to be harvested at a certain time of the year. So it's become manipulated. It's become inauthentic, right? Same way in the way that humans are. Same way as humans become, right? Okay, well, I want to make sure that I get that job or I get that person to like me. So I'm going to act in a way that I know they will accept me. I'm going to read the book, How to Make Friends and Lose Enemies or whatever, you know, or I'm going to study the strategy of facial expressions or how to dress to make sure somebody loves me, right? These are the inauthentic things that we do to get what we want. To manipulate someone's energy by manipulating ourselves. And here's the thing, I really want to say this. We all have done it. We all have done this. Yes, and this is where free will always comes into play. It's like, if I become aware of it, when I become aware of this now, what's next? How would I like to release, discard these inauthenticity and start to live a right life, an authentic life? Because what I'm here to tell you is that you are meant to feel fully authentic. Like, honoring your soul's desires is to be authentic. And if you are here listening to this right now, I fully trust that you are a visionary soul. You're meant to create something that is out of this world simply by living your own authentic life. And it can look different for everyone. It doesn't have to look like, oh, I run this billion-dollar company, although it can be. If you are, it is brilliant. And if you feel like that's done, that chapter is closing, then the authentic thing to do is to move on into what you really desire to do. And this is what we really come together to explore in my Cha Dao mentorship spaces, because, you know, I often say this, you know, the things that you say I really want to do, oftentimes if we haven't done the work, it comes with conditionings. It's something that you think you want, but it's actually something that probably someone else told you that you should want, right? If you think about it, it's like, okay, well, you know, a lot of people say, when I get older, I should really be traveling. I should really be going to like Spain or whatever. I should have a flat. I should own like a car, or all the things. Or like, I should fly first class by now, you know, like all the things. And yet, if I really work with the essence of who you truly are, what's really burning in your heart, that's probably not going to be your answer, right? So again, I'm asking you, what is really burning in your heart? Because to get deep down into this, and it isn't one sentence that can literally be done for today. I know this. You know, women come in to work with me for 1 year. I have a 6-month container, I have a 4-month container. Minimum working time with me would be 3 months. Yes, you can come in and have one ceremony. You can sit with me for 1 month and see how you feel about the whole thing if you're new to my world. But like, I personally see the most incredible transformation when we work long term, because here is where you really understand that the work is not a destination. It's not somewhere that you reach, because you will realize this very quickly, is that the minute you hit a goal, if you do have a goal, is that you start to get agitated, like, oh my gosh, I am already so done with this, like I need to go somewhere else. And then this is like an endless cycle, endless cycle. Like, how many of you have been to like numerous retreats, numerous courses, numerous programs? Like, it's like an endless cycle, endless. And I've done this myself. I've listened to other teachers, I've listened to other mentors, and I take their stuff in and I get so overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't even know, who am I? And this is why I created those space that I have right now, that I run. I want you to know who you are. I want you to know who you are. I'm not here to insert things into your brain and make you believe. I want you to know who you really are. What is your truth? Who are you? And then as you come into that real pure center of your divinity, you ripple out your light. You ripple out that light into everything else in your life. You're like that heart of the clock, right? As long as you know you are the heart, you're at the center of the clock, no matter where the hands of the clock go, you always recognize yourself as the heart of the clock. You won't sway and start to believe that you are at 3 o'clock. You won't start to believe that, oh my God, I'm at 4 o'clock, or I'm like 12 o'clock. I'm the shorter arm, or I'm the longer arm. You won't ever feel that way, because you are so fully anchored into the deep knowing. The deep remembrance continues to deepen, yes, for sure, endlessly. But you always remember who you are, which is the soul, which is the cosmic soul, the world soul. You are this powerful being who is here with that light. And this is so beautiful when it starts to take form, because I can share, I can say this all day. I'm like, yeah, you know, you're the divine. And you're like, yes, I am the divine. Yes. And then the minute you turn off this live, you're like, oh my God, there's so much shit in the house. There's so much shit on the internet. I'm like, you're back to 3 o'clock. You're back to 4 o'clock. You're not at the heart of the clock anymore. And this is not okay. Not in my house. I want you to feel so fully at home. And that to me is self-mastery. And I don't ever want anyone to believe that they have to criticize or put down any parts of themselves to feel like they have mastered themselves. That's not the point. You don't have to say that, oh yeah, my mind did this to me and it's just so annoying, and I don't understand why I can control my mind. I don't understand why I can't meditate for more than 30 minutes because my mind wanders. Like, my mind is not good. No, it's not that. Because here's the thing. The mind is meant to become, and it is meant to be trained by you. The first thing you need to realize is that you are not your mind. A lot of people in the majority of the world, I would say, think they are the mind. They think they are their thoughts. And here's the thing, you are the soul who gets to create thoughts. That thought gets to become your action. It becomes manifested. It becomes form. But first and foremost, please do not forget, you are first and foremost energy. You are first and foremost energy. and you have to take good care of your energy. Your energy field speaks before anything else. So how do we take care of our energy field? When we are in Cha Dao, and this is what I can speak about, this is what I know, that's why I will speak about this. I know there are lots of modalities out there that can do the same, or but for me, I found profound stillness through the veins of the leaf. And when we work with tea in ceremony, the medicine is very commensurate to how open your heart is, how still your mind is. So there's never really this feeling of like, oh, there's too much of this or too little. Never. Because the minute your heart opens and the amount you are allowing in is the exactly what you're given. It is exactly what you needed at that moment. And as I shared before about my client, another thing that came up was that when I was doing a tea ceremony experience in Milan for a group of about 16 people, it was very, very potent. In the minute the tea started to be served to everyone, the presence of the Divine Feminine was so present. Her presence was presenced to us. Like we literally simply had to drop in. I was the vessel who was holding that space for whatever that needed to come through, but the Divine Feminine energy was holding us very deeply the minute all of us were allowing. And it was like this really like graceful surrender, because now our minds are not in the way and we're not speaking, we're simply sitting in stillness. We're allowing the liquor to come through our whole body. And because tea has a very natural ability to still the mind and sharpen the senses, we start to feel it. That's it. But the very, very first thing that had to happen was to really shed away all the noise, all the worldly dust, and start to bring your senses inward. And this is what I'm here to do. This is what really is something that lights me up. And that minute we start to come into the ceremony and start to drink, that's where everything just becomes so magnifico, like they would call it in Italy. So that is why I want to share with you this powerful, powerful practice. And yes, there are different types of tea that you can work with, for sure. And the tea that I work with is very, very, very specifically what I would call living tea. So living tea, they are from the indigenous origins. Anything that has been transplanted, they will be given their own name, right? They won't be called something that was originally from somewhere else. And this is something I'm very, very clear about. And the second thing is they are biochemical free, and they grow like they're growing in mountains. And even if they were to be grown in an eco-arboreal garden, it is very specifically completely biochemical free, and the environment is very biodynamic. We don't want to we don't want to influence the way nature works, because the way nature works is perfect. It really is, down to the bugs that bites into the leaves, that gives the leaves a very potent and unique flavor. And of course, the waters from the rivers and the streams, they all carry the minerals that are going to influence the way the leaves taste. And so all of the five senses are awakened through the really powerful spiritual frequency that these leaves carry. And we go really deep into the roots. If we really go deep into the tree roots, the wisdom that the earth carries is literally taken through. And so when we work with tea like this in ceremony, we are bringing our own elements in. Again, going back to what I was talking about at the very beginning, when we come in and we shine our radiance, our divine luminosity, we are working side by side with tea. We're not just saying, okay, you do what you need to do for me, I'm going to get something from you, okay, I'm expecting miracles. No, you're coming in with full responsibility as the miracle. That's when you open your heart. That's when you still the critical, logical mind, expectant mind, and you take full responsibility for your divinity. because you're stepping in, you're saying, of course I am divine, and let's do this together with spirit. And that's where we really drop in and let spirit lead us. And that's where deep listening happens. You know, where that's where we become so okay with not knowing. We become so okay with the mystery. And what this does is that when we come out of this, and this is a practice, right? We deepen through doing it again and again and again. Every ceremony is different. You come out, rippling this out into all aspects of your life. You become okay with uncertainties. You become so deeply embodied in your knowing that everything is happening for me, as me, through me, because I am the divine, because I am the sacred being, because I am sacred luxury. And you know, I always believe this is that whatever that is being experienced in my life right now is being expressed through me. Love, wealth, freedom, nature, as I see it, it is being expressed through me. It's not something that I did something to get. You know what I mean? I didn't make money. It's being expressed through me. And this is what it feels like, that frequency of being the divine, being so embodied. Like there's no wavering. Your power is not circumstantial. And this for visionaries is so important, because this is how you can find yourself in that creative life force where you are really steeped in limitless potential. And I really mean limitless potential beyond what you have done before and you think you can rinse and repeat. This is a place where it's like, blow my mind, literally, and it is being created, it's being called into form. But to be in that creative life force, to be in this, like, you know, really agape moment, is to have to really come into this place of stillness, because this pure, profound stillness is the frequency of the cosmos. And the cosmos is always ever expanding, it's always ever growing. It never stops expanding, and that's why it is the mystery. It is not human-made. Yes? And this is what we are really here for. You know, I really am so passionate about this, because this whole thing really ties in with so many layers of things, and I can go on forever. But today, I really just want you to think about it. You know, how can a potent medicine like tea become so forgotten as a medicine and it's become a beverage? It is a reflection of how Mother Earth is being treated, and thus a reflection of how we are treating ourselves as humans. As the divine having a human experience, we're meant to walk this earth with every sacred breath. Everything around us is sacred. No exceptions. It doesn't have to look good. Even the gnarly bits, that's sacred. That is part of the entire process. Yeah, like one of the things I love to say is that the finitude, yes, the finitude of anything here, the impermanence of anything in this earthly existence creates something new. It's because of finitude. It's because of impermanence that something new can be created. If everything is infinite, then nothing new will be created, right? And so there's something so beautiful about impermanence. It's like having this, you know, perhaps like a dead corpse, something that has passed into the other realm. The dead corpse becomes a fertilizer for the earth, and something new gets to be born, right? And this is where we really need to understand, and this is how I really also saw death as something so beautiful and really conquered my fear of death, my fear of letting go. And this is something we go deep into. It is the same thing as working with the mystery, understanding what it is, and thus really embracing our fear as really just a another expression of love. Love that is divine. Love that is you. Yeah, we're not separate from any of these things. Love is who we are. We don't have to do something to earn love. We don't have to do something to earn wealth. We don't. We really don't. And the reason why we don't feel like we have it is because we think we're separate from that. And it's time to close that gap. It really is time to close this gap, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. These conversations, I wish you could hear inside my mentorship spaces. It's like, it blows your mind. Like, all my clients are always saying, like, I literally feel like I'm losing my mind. And I'm like, yes, because your mind is being melted by this beautiful pot of gold. And the minute it becomes so much part of who you are, instead of running amok, instead of trying to defend itself, instead of trying to cope, now it gets to do the real project of emergence, of really becoming the luminosity, the light that gets to ripple out into the world, that gets to be in service of humanity, gets to be in service of the world at large, your loved ones. It begins with that. It begins with you. And this is so important because we keep looking outside of ourselves, most of us, looking outside of ourselves to wonder, okay, how can I help? How can I love more? How can I find more love? Like trying to fill the void up inside of us. When the really juicy answer is, it begins with us. It really begins with us. It begins with how we can take full responsibility for our own self-mastery. This is what it means. So, my loves, thank you so much for sharing. And if this message really landed for you, please do share. I really appreciate every share as a solo entrepreneur. It really, really helps. And if you're here and you feel like things are really starting to really stir up for you and you would like to share, please feel free to send me a message as well. I would love to hear from you. And to all of you who are donating, thank you all the way. Even if you're not, please know that every bit that you share, every moment that you engage, it means the world for me. Okay, it really means the world to me as well. So thank you. Taking a moment to pause here to make sure I get through any of your questions. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Thank you for all the hearts. Oh my goodness, clear. How beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. So if you want to find out more about the tea ceremonies, please feel free to visit the link in my bio. I definitely have a couple of different offers that are on there. And on the Insight Timer, I will do, at the moment, I'm doing a monthly Leaves in a Bowl tea ceremony where we share 3 bowls in silence. You get to really experience that. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. All right, my loves. I will send you all my love and have a beautiful weekend. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.